Micah is at 10, is it? Oh, nice. I have Q2. Yeah. You think the Q2 the 43 or the 28? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I got 31st. You bought it 43? You like your screen, your LCD strip, right? Yeah. That's lovely. That makes a huge difference. I wish I would have that picture. It's hard. It's really hard. I mean, it depends what you do. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I was like when I do street photography, that's what I do. Like, right. But for this, then I do like zoom, I do tele sometimes. Yes. Right. Now this is not a like tense protest, but it's very important because like all the stories, all the news about the war. So like news, all the news that you for a bunch of different places. I work for DSP, I work for Zuma Press, AP sometimes. But I'm a freelancer. Oh yeah, thanks. Ali. Nice to meet you. Ali. You on Instagram? You on Instagram? The good thing about here is it has a very good lighting because all these buildings are down to the high. Yeah.
tell people all the time. Let's think about this.
Check, check. Make some noise if you're here to say hands off Iran. That's right. Say hands off Iran. 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 That's right. Welcome everybody. We are excited to get started. Make some noise. And we're going to do a different one. You may have heard this before. But when I say money for jobs and education, you say not for war and occupation. Okay? Let's practice. Money for jobs and education. Money for jobs and education. That's right. I'll say money for jobs and education. You say not for war and occupation. Okay? Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for jobs and education. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and occupation. That's right, folks. That's a message that anyone in this country should be able to agree with, is that our cities are falling apart. The streets are falling apart. There is a war on immigrant communities, and we will not afford another war in the Middle East. I want everybody here. Please come toward the middle so that everyone can see the speakers. Head on into the center. Head on into the center. I'll say, what do you want? Hands off Iran. Okay? What do we want? Hands off Iran. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Hands off Iran. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Hands off Iran. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Hands off Iran. And when do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. going on. Trump says, of course, that they sent weapons in advance of this attack, which killed hundreds and hundreds of civilians. Don't let them fool you into thinking it was attacking nuclear sites. They were attacking apartment buildings, killing civilians, because that's what the U.S. government does, is commit terrorism around the world. But we're not going to stand for it. We've seen the same type of violence and brutality from LAPD, from the National Guard, from the Marines, right here in Los Angeles. Because they've been deployed to put down the movement for immigrant rights. Isn't that a shame? They've been deployed here to put down the movement for immigrant rights, which we know is a just movement. And in the same way, they're preparing us that they're going to have to send people to Iran. But we will be in the streets in the hundreds, in the thousands, in the millions to say that this war will not continue. As a matter of fact, today at the White House, thousands of protesters hit the streets and marched to the White House to say no war on Iran. So remember, this isn't just a local struggle. This is not just a national struggle, but internationally. We are in solidarity with the world, which is against these endless U.S. wars. So what I want to say is we're here to condemn that unprovoked Israeli attack, which was backed and orchestrated by the United States. We are here because Trump is trying to escalate into a regional and potentially a global war. He's ready to push this country toward the brink of World War III. Why? Because he can hide in his mansions, in his hotels. But he doesn't care about the innocent blood that's being spilled, not only here but around the world. And just look at the hypocrisy. The United States is out here saying that they want to target nuclear facilities when the United States has dropped nuclear weapons on children and families around the world. They dropped them right on the people of Japan. This is the country that has used nuclear weapons to destroy lives, and we condemn that. We say our message is clear that the United States has no right. Let me repeat. The United States has no right to determine the government of other countries. The United States has no right to invade other countries. The United States has no right to bomb other countries. And only we can take that right away, right? Only we can say that our tax dollars, that our children will not be sent to destroy the lives of people in the Middle East. Is that a movement that you're committed to? That's right. We're going to stick together because the anti-war movement is what's going to save this country from ruin and what's going to save the world from ruin. The world is united against this U.S.-Israeli war of aggression. And we can't talk about this without talking about the people of Gaza, who have been devastated, who have faced genocide at the same hands the Israeli United States military forces. We say shame on that, but guess what? They have no shame. They're going to keep doing it unless we build the anti-war movement. So I hope you're all proud to be here today in solidarity. We're making history together saying no war on Iran. And before we introduce these other speakers, I just want to thank everyone for coming out. My name is Cameron. I'm with the Answer Coalition. The Answer Coalition was founded just days after the invasion of Afghanistan, and we have stood against every single U.S. war that has come since. Why? The reason is simple. Every single U.S. war, whether we're talking about Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, all of these wars have wasted funds while people here suffer with homelessness, with hunger, with lack of education, health care. Isn't that a shame?
Shame!
We are on the same side as the people of the world who are under attack by the U.S. government because they're trying to attack our social services right here. They're attacking our immigrant communities right here. And we're not going to let them lead a war on the immigrant communities and a war on Iran. Is that right?
That's right!
So we're going to stand together. We have a lot of really great speakers. First up, I want to introduce a veteran who can speak very clearly to the reason in uniform, out of uniform, and all people need to stand against this war. Please welcome Tucker.
Good afternoon, LA. Like Cam said, my name's Tucker. I served as a U.S. Army veteran. I was a tanker, an M1 Abrams Armored Crewman. My great-grandfather, a little bit more about me. My great-grandfather was a mechanic for the Tuskegee Airmen. And you could say that serving has been in my family for a while. But as we have seen in the past 20 years, we've seen that what my great-grandfather and what so many other veterans who fought in World War II for and came back, that illusion has been shattered. We were lied to about Iraq. We were lied to about Afghanistan. And at the end of the day, that cost us, the taxpayers, $6 trillion. It's an absolute shame. Not billions, that's a T, trillions. And so, 20 years later, we're seeing the same playbook. Oh, we need to regime change in Iran. It'll make the region safer. It'll make the world safer. Benjamin Netanyahu has been repeating that lie since 2003. And where has that got us? Nowhere. So again, do not fall for this lie. We are being lied to go and fight for Israel's crimes against humanity. And I will tell you this, as a veteran, I don't want other service members to go and die for another country's genocidal actions. Shame. Shame on Israel. So, like Cam said, the Answer Coalition formed in the wake of the Iraq invasion. And not only that, but service members and veterans have had a history of resistance in the United States. We have fought and stood against crimes against us and the indecency that the American government forces on service members, forces on veterans. The American Service Members Union during the Vietnam War was essential in tandem with the anti-war opposition in the United States to get the United States military out of the Civil War in Vietnam. Before that, veterans from all over the country marched on Washington, D.C. to force the U.S. government to give us our bonus from World War I. That they lied to us. They lied to the veterans of World War I. And they stormed them out of the Capitol. But we fought. Veterans fought and resisted. During World War I, black soldiers mutinied and fought against police brutality in Houston, Texas. Being murdered by the Houston police. They fought back. So we as service members, we as veterans, we have a history of standing up and fighting back against U.S. regime change, against their mistreatment of veterans, against their mistreatment of service members. And so here we are in 2025. The Trump administration is using the Marines to assist ICE in their abduction of U.S. citizens in Los Angeles. Shame! One more time, shame! Trump has used the California National Guard to quell us and say, stop standing up for immigrant rights. Are we going to keep fighting for immigrant rights? Israel.
Israel.
So when we look at our service members, please remind them that they have a duty and a right to not follow unlawful orders. There is the GI Rights hotline for them to either go online or call to ask what is a lawful order, what is unlawful order, what should I be doing? Give them information on becoming conscientious objectors so that they can say no to the war on Iran. In our fight for immigrant rights, in our fight for housing for all Americans. So one more time. Hands off Iran! 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 Thank you all. Stay out here in this fight. Hands off of Iran! 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 That's right. Thank you so much, Tucker. There are many veterans like Tucker who stand up against wars like this, who know that these wars are nothing but a race, and at the end of the day, they benefit the rich. They're not protecting this country. You know what it looks like to protect this country? It means to stand up against ICE raids. It means to stand up against the abduction of people from elementary schools, from Home Depots, from their workplaces. That is defending this country. That's right. If we stand against poverty, against homelessness, that is protecting this country. But bombing villages in Iran, in Palestine, in Syria, in Yemen, in Libya, that is not defending anybody except the super rich on Wall Street. So thank you, Tucker. That's the message we're going to keep going, that the people, not only here, but the people of the world, stand against war with Iran and stand for peace, equality, and justice. That's what we're here for. Next up, I want to introduce Paul, who's an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Welcome, Paul.
Good afternoon, everyone. Cam said, my name is Paul. I'm an organizer, and I'm also a child of immigrant parents. So I can truly feel how ICE has been terrorizing our communities for over a week now. Same. So many families all across Los Angeles, including my own, are afraid right now. They're afraid of simply going outside to spend time with their families. The street vendors are afraid to go out to the streets to make a living. Parents are afraid to go take their children to school. Families are afraid to go to the grocery stores to buy food and put food on the table to feed their families. This is absolutely shameful. Shame. And immigrants are often asked if they're so afraid, if it's so bad here, why do they move to the United States in the first place? But they never ask them, why did they even have to leave their home country? So many immigrants, including my own family, would love to stay in their home country, but the conditions back at home were made unlivable because of war, because of sanctions, climate crisis. These are injustices caused by the same corporations, the same politicians, and the same billionaires that cause so many problems here at home. Shame. It is because of war that devastates so many families abroad that they're forced to follow the wealth that was stolen from their countries here to the United States in order to avoid it. So, when war is on the horizon again, we need to continue to reject it because the war on immigrants, the war on people all over the country, it's a war on workers everywhere. If the U.S. continues to involve themselves in war with Iran, it will only continue to devastate communities all over the world, and even our communities here at home. All that money that could be invested into our communities here would instead be going to fund these criminal wars in the Middle East. When it comes to funding programs that actually help everyday people, everyday families, like feeding our poor, feeding our hungry, educating our children, taking care of our sick and elderly, all of a sudden these are too expensive. There's no money. But when you want money for war, to make weapons, to send bombs overseas, or to fund these criminal agents who separate and rip up families apart, all of a sudden they have a blank check. They have money for that. They have money to send the National Guard, to militarize our police forces, to continue to crack down on even the people who dare to take to the streets and reject these ICE raids. They have all the money in the world for that, but not for programs that actually benefit working people like us. And I know the people of LA stand strongly against these criminal raids and attacks on our communities. As soon as past Friday, when these raids began in the streets of Los Angeles, it was the people who immediately took to the streets to defend their neighbors. They defended their communities. When we saw the heavily armed agents with the help of the FBI show up to the garment factories in Los Angeles, it was the people in the community that took to the streets and completely rejected them, right? And ever since then, day after day, the people continued to protest, continued to take to the streets, and continued to demand ICE out of our community. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every single day, the people were still in the streets demanding these criminal agents to stop them from separating our families, from attacking our neighbors. And it was those same agents that were attacking us, right? They kept on calling us the violent ones, but they're the ones inflicting violence on our people, is that right? So now that they want to ship that violence overseas and attack fellow workers, fellow community members out in other countries, I want to make it clear that we have a lot more in common with the people of Iran, the people of Gaza, the people of Mexico, the people of Latin America, than we do with these billionaires, is that right? These billionaires continue to profit off of these wars. So when these wars come, we need to stand strong and reject it. We want that money to fund stuff like healthcare, like education, not to continue to send that money to devastate families all over the world and here at home. And this has been made clear, as I said, for the past few days all over Los Angeles. The people had enough of the militarization of our communities. They had enough of ICE in our communities, in our city, anywhere. The people have been mobilizing day after day, taking to the streets, taking to the hotels to even prevent ICE from sleeping at a hotel comfortably, right? If we can't get no justice, then they're not going to get any sleep either, is that right? The people are going to continue to defend the people of LA, but they're also going to continue to defend the people of Iran, the people of Gaza, the people of the Middle East, and everywhere, is that right? We're going to continue fighting for a system that actually prioritizes the needs of the people and no war, is that right? So I need to repeat after me. Money for jobs and education. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and deportation. Not for war and deportation. Money for jobs and education. Money for jobs and education. Not for war and deportation. Not for war and deportation. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I want to hear you say, from the belly of the beast. From the belly of the beast. U.S. out of the Middle East. U.S. out of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast. From the belly of the beast. U.S. out of the Middle East. 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 That's right. Make some noise for all of our speakers. We say from the belly of the beast because we in this country have a duty to say what is wrong with our government and with the billionaires that control it.
army to fight back against an unjust system, because the United States doesn't just oppress its own people, it oppresses people all over the globe. And we stand against that because this is one common struggle, one common fight. Is that right?
That's okay.
All right.
Take your time.
So we stand up against the war on immigrant families. We stand up against this new war that Trump is pushing for against Iran.
No
And we
problem.
stand against the war that Trump is waging on all working class people. States and Israel for carrying out the genocide against Palestinians, but they continue to do it, and now they want to expand it. Netanyahu and Trump have planned to expand it, to make it a genocidal war against Iran. But my question to all of you is, where does it stop? Where does it stop? That's right, we have the power to stop it when we stand together in the streets, when we stand together for immigrant rights, when we stand together against war and against genocide. The people have the power to make the final choices of history. And history will remember protests like this because we're on the side of justice. No matter what the media tells you, no matter what the police chiefs tell you, no matter what the politicians tell you, the movement for immigrant rights and the anti-war movement are on the right side of history. That's right, folks. The anti-war struggle is a long one, but it's an important one. And we've heard from a veteran today, and we're going to hear from another one, because like I said, we are not alone. There are so many veterans who have decided that this endless war system is a system that needs to be replaced. A system that lets you profit off of death and destruction and suffering is a system that needs to be replaced now. So next up, if you're here, I would like to call up Joy. Thank you. Joy is a veteran who will be speaking to you today about our message, anti-war message. Thank you.
How y'all doing?
Not better than that.
How we doing? My name is Joy. I was active duty for 8 years. I joined because, why did we all join? For college, for healthcare, for hoping to own a house one day and actually be able to pay it off. I was looking at statistics in my head, and let's just say, I did not. Right? We can't afford it. Okay. Americans cannot afford it right now. How many of us have got gas today? Or gone got groceries this week? Yeah, how'd that feel, right? You felt it right here, right? Yes. It's awful. We can't afford this. The government can't afford this. Alright? The country's down. The proof is down. We don't have the people. The people that are going to go over there are going to come back to a non-existent VA. They've cut so much funding from the VA. They've laid off so many employees. Things that we joined to receive. We can't do this. Right?
Thank you so much. What an important message. Because for all the young people who signed up because they want to defend the country, this government has something else in store for you. This government doesn't want to see you succeed the same way it doesn't want the people of Iran to succeed. This government doesn't care. That's why they cut the benefits. That's why they send young people into endless wars, knowing that those wars are just making the oil companies rich, making the weapons manufacturers rich, and making the war machine thrive. But from Iran to the Philippines, we're going to stop the U.S. war machine. And only the people united can stop the war machine. The support is endless because people know that a war would be devastating for all people involved. So next up, I would like to invite another speaker. Desmond, please come to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. $1 trillion. $1 trillion is the amount of money that the Trump administration wants to spend on a nuclear weapons program in the next decade. $1 trillion, as he tweets day in and day out, week in and week out, he's on Truth Social, and he says that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, even though Iran doesn't want a nuclear weapon. And Iran agreed in 2016, 2017 that they would not pursue a nuclear weapon, a deal which the United States agreed to, which France, Germany agreed to, European countries control over their resources. The Iranian people said our natural resources, this oil money, all this land, it should be used to benefit our people. It shouldn't be used to benefit the oil executives in these tall corporate buildings. It shouldn't be used to benefit the warmongers in the White House. Whether it's Harry Truman or whether it's Dwight Eisenhower, from Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump, the resources of Iran, the resources of the Middle East belong to the people of Iran and the Middle East. This war isn't about peace. This war isn't about stability. It's about fattening the pockets of the money-hungry billionaires that are in the White House and are in these tall executive buildings. And it's not just the Middle East. I mean, shoot, they bombed my mother's country in Africa, in Angola. Except it was South Africans that time. South Africans, apartheid white settler South Africans, using the bombs made by the United States. My aunt was born under a barrage of gunfire and bombs that were supplied by this government. But guess what? That apartheid regime fell in South Africa. Just like the apartheid genocidal regime of Israel will fall. They don't just want $1 trillion for the nuclear program. They want $1 trillion annual budget for more wars all across the world. That's what Donald Trump says. He wants the annual military budget to be $1 trillion. In addition to $1 trillion for nuclear funding. And this is at the same time that Trump's big, beautiful bill is promising to cut $800 billion in Medicare and SNAP funding. Food stamps and health insurance. That's what they're taking away so they can fund these wars to make billionaires richer. They're cutting funding, as the speaker just said, to the VA. And you know, I take the bus here. I work at UCLA. I'm a teaching assistant, a grad student at UCLA. I take the bus here. And you can see on these poles and signs that VA care equals death, because I have to take the bus to UCLA every day, and it stops by the Veterans Building. And every day I see hobbled, crippled, physically and mentally unwell people taking shoddy buses that only get here every 30 minutes to try to get some health care after serving in wars that have done nothing but destroy working class people all across the world. And the irony is not lost on us that, of course, the Trump administration has sent in the Marines and the National Guard to protect federal property, right, as the LAPD is going on a rampage and brutalizing peaceful protesters all across the city for the last week, as ICE is snatching up people from their families. I mean, just the other day, they picked up a U.S. citizen, a teenager. All of his skin. They separated him from his mother, and now his family can't find where he is. He was born here. And ICE, masked men, walking around the streets of Los Angeles, picking people up because of the color of their skin and because of where they work. They're nothing but slave catchers. They're nothing but modern-day slave catchers. So it's not lost on us that these Marines that were sent here, I know people know, I mean, they could probably, confirm with me, but they were sent over 49 pounds, I believe, they can correct me if I'm wrong. The 7th Battalion, the 7th Marine Regiment, it's the same regiment, the same battalion that were sent to fight in Fallujah, all across the mountains of Iraq.
It's kind of like when you go
Trying to defend the theft, the exploitation of other countries across the world over these lies and weapons of mass destruction, and they come back to their bases, and I believe, again, they can correct me if I'm wrong, that the regiment is nicknamed Suicide Joe, because they come back home after being sent to fight in rich man's wars, and are left with no medical care, left amputated, left with PTSD, all kinds of illnesses, and our government does nothing
place are you from?
LAPD officers, they stick after
Oh, you're
us.
live right now? Oh,
We
sorry.
don't care.
Or
If they
Hero
deploy
Kid.
the National Guard and the Marines and force them to try to repress our movement. We don't care if they institute curfews to stop us from protesting. We're going to continue building a movement that says no to the billionaires, that says no to the warmongers, that says no to war with
7 years in the Marine Corps, 4 active and 3 in the reserves. I was a 2111 1st Station in Camp Pendleton, 1st Maintenance Battalion, and I deployed with Combat Logistics Battalion 15 for the USS Peleliu. For my own sanity, I have to believe that this is not what you signed up for. This cannot be something you believe in. There is no way that any of you want to be here right now. You look at me when I'm speaking. I know that you know that the people who sent you here, your commanding officers, whoever, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, fucking Donald Trump, whoever, you know in the bottom of your hearts, they do not care about you. They don't care about any one of you. They didn't care about me. They certainly don't care about any veterans. You've heard time and time again how this government is stripping away your benefits, the benefits of your fellow veterans. This is not going to change when you get out, and I know you're dying to get out. You will be hung out to dry, just like the rest of us. There will be, and probably some of you among them, there will still be thousands, tens of thousands of homeless veterans. And I know from experience because I was one of those homeless veterans. None of you are safe. They do not care about you. They say we're the few and the proud. Proud of what exactly? This is nothing to be proud of, and I know you know that. I'm standing here with my heart full of shame, but I have to be here to speak to you. The good news is, there's always something you can do. Go to the website, GI Rights, and know how you can get out, because there is no way any of you want to be doing this. I have to believe that none of you want to be here. That some of you look exactly like the people that ICE are targeting. How can you possibly stand here and defend the police, defend ICE, and stand with them, when a lot of your fellow service members, all of your fellow Marines are themselves Hispanic or Latino, are themselves immigrants, are themselves children of immigrants? There are so many of you who enlist specifically to gain citizenship, specifically to get a green card either for themselves or for their families. And only to be, deported? You have to feel shame within yourselves in some way or another. You belong over here on this side with us. You belong on the correct side of history. Stand down. You have to have the balls to disobey orders. You can go AWOL. You have rights. Just because you signed a contract, that doesn't mean that your duty to your fellow countrymen, your fellow citizens, just goes out the window. You do not have to throw away your morals for an institution that does not care about you at all, in the slightest. You'll be hung out to dry when you get out. And I cannot say that enough. You tip of the spear. Spear of what? Nothing. Just get out and do the right thing. I know there is still goodness within you. You know what's good for yourselves, and I know that you do. Get out right now. GI Rights. You can discover everything you can do to get out of this situation you're in. You do not have to do this
the one threatening war with Iran. It is the same system funding bombs in Gaza and Ukraine while people here in our own backyard are being brutalized by police, evicted, and starved for basic needs. This is what U.S. imperialism looks like. And it doesn't just happen overseas, it's right here. It's in our schools, in our streets, in our communities. It's ICE raids and military recruitment in working class neighborhoods. It's funding weapons instead of housing. It's exporting war and importing trauma. But LA, you've already shown us what's possible. We've shown our community what is possible. You've shown that when we stand together, we win. The solidarity we've built in these past few weeks cannot and will not end here. We have to take the same fire, the same belief in justice, and unite it with the movement against war. We have to say clearly, not in our name. No war with Iran. No weapons to kill families in Palestine. No more funding for war while our people suffer. Because the truth is, our common enemy is the empire that profits off our pain. The two-party system that prioritizes tax breaks for billionaires over food on our tables. And our greatest weapon is solidarity across borders, across struggles, across movements. Let's rise up not just for immigrant justice, not just against war, but for a new system. One where our resources build peace, not prisons. Where families are safe, here and abroad. Where LA is part of the global people's movement that finally ends U.S. imperialism. We believe in that war. We believe in that world. We believe in that system. In LA, I believe that we can lead the way. Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People's power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People's power.
So we're not going to just show up today, but we're going to show up for each other across every movement because we know that we have one common enemy, and when we stick together, we win together.
No eyes, no.
Thank you guys.
No eyes, no KKK, no fascist USA.
No ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA. No ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA. Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People's power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power? And I want to do one more chant that I learned in the immigrant rights movement. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated.
That's right, folks. And when I say united, that means from here to Iran, from here to Gaza, from here all across Latin America, to every single part of this world that is under threat by the global war that the United States has planned, we stand together. Because Trump's war on immigrant communities, Trump's war on the working class of this country, Trump's war on the Middle East is connected to his war against the entire world. Because the United States rich, the United States' elites, they have nothing to stop them except the people. They have an endless desire for profits. No amount of oil is ever enough. No wage is low enough. No amount of resources is enough. That's why they continue and have to antagonize and escalate and provoke country after country after streets. We've watched it year after year after year. But we are saying no to endless war.
No!
Are we? That's right. We're saying no to endless war.
No! Endless war!
We're saying no war on Iran.
No war on Iran!
And we know that the U.S. is working hand in hand with the government of Israel, giving them all of the weapons that they need. Giving them the moral support. Because we know it's an immoral system. We know that apartheid is immoral. But even though the entire world has condemned Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people, the United States stands and shields them from any accountability. Shame. And if that's the government that we pay taxes to, if that's the government that claims to represent us, then we have to say, no, you do not represent us anymore. This is a government that is addicted to war. And the type of war that they have planned is one that can affect all of humanity. That is the mission that each and every one of us has today, is to stop this war. That means stopping the bombings. That means U.S. troops out of the Middle East. That means end the genocide on Gaza and lift the siege. That means end the sanctions on Iran, on Cuba, on Venezuela, on so many different countries. And that means that we unite and we look at who our common enemy is. It's Wall Street, it's the Pentagon, it's the billionaires, it's the landlords who profit off of your hard-earned money. It's the healthcare CEOs who siphon resources from each and every one of us, especially the most vulnerable. It's the people who want to cut Medicaid, who want to cut funds for housing, healthcare, education, who are attacking Social Security. Why? Because all they see is dollar signs. But we have different values. We believe that human life actually has value. And that value is what's going to unite us in a unified anti-war movement that is nationwide, that is not only right here in Los Angeles, but earlier today they marched on the White House. They marched to say no war on Iran, and they made sure that Donald Trump and all the warmongers in that house heard it. So the power is with the people. We're going to stay here. I want each and every one of you to chant loud, to make sure they can see your signs on the streets. And make sure that you chant so loud that each and every warmonger can hear you, because they know that the anti-war movement cannot be stopped. And I say it cannot be stopped, I must say. Because they bring out the National Guard, the Army, the Marines, whoever they bring out, because they're scared. Because they know that there's an anti-war movement that actually has morals behind it. That actually has truth behind it. That isn't just based on uncontrolled violence and being proud about how violent the Army can be. That's not something to be proud of. There's a moral force that is here. We may start with hundreds, but thousands will hit the streets, then millions will hit the streets, and we will win a new system. So let me hear you say, hands off Iran! 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 Whose streets? Our streets! 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 Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Occupation is a crime! Occupation is a crime! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Occupation is a crime! Occupation is a crime! Netanyahu, you can hide! charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Netanyahu, you can't hide.
Netanyahu, you can't hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Donald Trump, you can't hide.
Donald Trump, you can hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Donald Trump, you can't hide.
Donald Trump, you can hide.
We charge you with genocide.
We charge you with genocide.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People's power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
What kind of power?
People power.
What kind of power?
People power.
That's right, make some noise for people power. Because people power is the only power that can stop this war machine from destroying everything that we know. But do you believe that we can win? Do you know that we can win? Are you going to tell your friends that we can win? And when we build a movement in the hundreds of thousands, in the millions, in the tens of millions, until we stop this unjust war machine. That's right, folks. That's right.
There is only one solution, Intifada Revolution.
That is right, folks. We are here to stand against endless war. We want you to get organized. We want you to talk to the organizations that are here, talk to someone new, and get to know how you can get involved. Because this is a long struggle. It's one some of us have been in for a short time, others for a lifetime. But each and every one of you has played a role in history today. The history books will remember the anti-war protests. The same way people look back at the anti-Vietnam War. Let me rephrase that. The same way that people look back at the fight against the war in Vietnam, they're going to look back at this moment. They're going to look back at the people who protested genocide. And a long time from now, people are going to look and know that it was actually us who were on the right side of the history. And it was Trump and the warmongers who were on the wrong side. So folks, I hope that gives you confidence. We're going to stay here. We're going to make our voices heard. We want your signs to be high and proud. We want your voices to be strong and loud.